The miraculous mantra of great compassion. May those with karmic affinity who read this share it with many people. Whether people with a sincere heart recite the mantra themselves or play it through music players, it will benefit all sentient beings throughout the Dharma realm. The accumulated merit will be immeasurable. Prosperity and wealth. According to the Book of Miraculous Manifestations, during the Qing dynasty, Cao Chengshou met a monk who said, "If you can abstain from beef and dog meat, you will achieve prominence." Cao Chengshou said, "I am just an ordinary archer and horseman. How dare I hope for fame and fortune?" The monk said, "If you can recite the great compassion mantra morning and evening, what is there to worry about not achieving such blessings?" Chengshou then kept the precepts and recited the mantra without interruption. Entering the officialdom, it seemed as if he had divine assistance. Within a few years, he rose to the position of Grand Minister. Recorded in the 12th year of Qianlong, 1747. According to the Book of Miraculous Manifestations, Xu Yuanji in Weizhou, impoverished, wanted to drown himself. An old man stopped him and told him to diligently recite the great Bodhisattva's white robe mantra, and heaven would bestow blessings. He recited the mantra incessantly, and thus became immensely wealthy. His printing expanded. He moved his family to Yangzhou, and his descendants became glorious and prosperous. Fire cannot touch it. According to the Xin Lu record of trustworthy hearts, Mr. Kai Si Shang was appointed to the position of Hui Sao Yun, controlling waterway transportation. He rented a house from a local resident to use as his office, with no walls on all four sides, right next to the neighbor's house. Suddenly, a fire broke out in the neighboring house, and everyone was busy saving their belongings, but Mr. Kai sat still without moving. His servants repeatedly begged him to flee, but he paid no heed. The fire spread, engulfing Mr. Kai's office and burning several more houses before finally dying out. When people asked him what his secret was, he replied, "I diligently recite the great compassion mantra." People said, "The mantra is certainly effective, but what if it doesn't work? Wouldn't that be a wasted life?" Mr. Tai said, "My family has been reciting the great compassion mantra for generations. The miraculous effects of the great compassion mantra, such as escaping calamities like war, fire, and other emergencies, are countless. As for me, I have been reciting the great compassion mantra for 20 years, and whenever I encounter an emergency, I always receive help. During the Qianlong era, when I lived in the capital, my neighbor's house to the south caught fire. A southerly wind blew, making the fire even stronger, and we couldn't move our belongings in time. Before I finished reciting the mantra even once, the wind changed direction. The fire flared up towards the south, but my house remained unharmed. Therefore, I know that this mantra is deeply protected and guarded by the gods, capable of transforming calamities. If one's faith is not sincere, how can one dare to disregard danger? But one must first repent of sins and wholeheartedly do good deeds. Reciting the mantra 5 or 7 times morning and evening with devotion, all desires will be fulfilled. The miraculous effects of the great compassion mantra. Not drowning. According to Shang Suam Sui, but during the Qing dynasty, the prefect of Pu'er County, Chen Dingyu, was extremely devout in his devotion to the great Bodhisattva, reciting the great compassion mantra daily. During the Daoguang era, Chen was traveling back to the capital via the Han River when he slipped and fell into the river. At that time, a strong wind blew, and in an instant, he was a mile away from the boat. Strangely, he saw that the water only reached his knees. His legs seemed to be supported by something, preventing him from sinking. Only his robe fluttering on the waves. He quickly recited the great compassion mantra. Before he had recited it 3 times, someone came to his rescue, and the upper part of his body remained completely dry. Regarding the story of the Pure Land saints and sages. According to the asterisk records of Pure Land saints and sages, during the Qing dynasty, Wu Yunsheng, a young boy from Hukchu, met a monk who said, "You have good roots, but unfortunately, at the age of 29 you will encounter a flood. The only way is to refrain from killing and release living beings. Every day, diligently recite the Buddha's name and the Great Compassion Mantra. Perhaps you will escape." Wu Yunsheng believed and followed this advice. He even shared this story with others. At the age of 29, he was traveling by boat from Hangzhou to visit his family. Suddenly, the river became dangerously rough. He quickly clasped his hands and recited Buddhist prayers. The boat capsized and he fell into the water. In his daze, he heard a voice say, "Go Don Thang, you have the merit of encouraging people to recite Buddhist prayers, and you have escaped this calamity." When he opened his eyes and looked around, he found himself on shore. Rescued by fishermen. Escape from the cat demon according to the Baoang Luke, record of retribution. A monk named Hu Kong during the Yuan dynasty suffered from a stomach ailment and could not eat or drink. One night, he dreamt of a cat entering his stomach. From then on, his illness worsened, and he craved fish. Knowing it was karmic retribution, he resolved to recite the sacred name of the great Bodhisattva a million times. He also recited the Great Compassion Mantra 108 times daily. Later, he dreamt of a young boy in a green robe carrying a basket containing a chicken, and the cat leapt out of his mouth. Terrified, he woke up and was cured. Extraordinarily miraculous according to the Baoang Luke, during the Tang dynasty, Go X served as a soldier fighting against ethnic minorities. Along the way, the group of soldiers caught a white turtle, butchered it, and ate it together. Several years later, the old man developed scabies and ulcers, his eyebrows fell out, and his toes and fingers all fell off. Unable to find a way to survive, he begged for food in the Annam market. One day, a monk saw him and said, "If you recite the Great Compassion Mantra of Avalokiteshvara, you will surely receive good fortune," and then taught him the Great Compassion Mantra. The soldier believed in the mantra's efficacy and wholeheartedly recited it. After some time, his wounds gradually healed. Most miraculously, his toes and fingers grew back. Later, out of gratitude to the Bodhisattva, he became a monk, taking the name Triik. Eye healing ritual according to the book Illustrated Explanation. Monk Chu Thao from Taizhou suffered from an eye disease. He sought treatment for many years without success. Later, he heard that the Great Compassion Mantra was miraculous and often recited it. One night, he dreamt that the great Bodhisattva taught him how to cure his eyes. Every morning, take a cup of clean water, recite the mantra 7 times, and then use that water to wash his eyes. He also taught him the following verse, saving from suffering, Avalokiteshvara. Grant me great peace and happiness, and bestow great skillful means. Eliminate ignorance and delusion. Eliminate all obstacles in this karmic life. Eliminate all evil deeds and ignorance. Leave me from the house of darkness. Make me see the light. I now tell you how to wash. Repent and cleanse the eyes of sins. May pure light radiate everywhere. May I see the wondrous manifestation. This verse was passed down, and many who followed it experienced miraculous results. The miraculous mantra of great compassion, exorcising evil spirits according to Guang Yi Ji. During the Tang dynasty, Li Xin recited the Great Compassion Mantra. A villager was suffering from a persistent malaria. When Li Xin visited, he recited the Great Compassion Mantra and saw a demon suddenly flee. The demon said, "I originally wanted to torment you, but now I fear Li Shizi Lang and dare not come again." When Li Xin was staying in Henan, an epidemic broke out in his hometown. His sister also died in the plague. because her body was still warm. Her family did not bury her. A few days later, she suddenly came back to life and said, "At first, several people led me to a burial mound, intending to humiliate me. Then someone said, 'This is Li Shizilang's sister. When he returns, he will use his magic to torment us, so it's better to let her go.' I heard this as if in a dream, and when I woke up, I found myself dead for several days." Exorcising the demonic serpent during the Song dynasty, a young man from the Wang family in Kemin was traveling. Passing through a village, he was tied up by several people. They bound the boy to a pillar of an ancient temple, saying, "Please, great king, accept this." Wang knew they were killing people to appease demons. So he recited the Great Compassion mantra. At night there was a howling wind like thunder. Then he saw a large serpent with eyes shining like torches crawling towards him. The young man was frightened and recited the mantra even more urgently. The serpent advanced and retreated several times, finally transforming into wind and leaving. The next morning, young Wang was untied and escaped. Escaping the demon according to the Linggan Ji, Zhang Cheng of Jishui, during the Qian Dao era of the Song dynasty, spent the night in the border region of Liling. The innkeeper entertained him with great pomp and circumstance, offering strong wine and a lavish feast. Zhang was astonished, declined to drink, and went to sleep. In the middle of the night, he saw torches lit in the main house and peeked inside. He saw the innkeeper bowing and praying before a painting. He also saw the innkeeper repeatedly mention the customer named Zhang. So he knew that Zhang would offer him as a sacrifice to the demon. Looking at the painting, he was shocked to see a demon appearing and disappearing, its eyes like bowls. Mr. Zhang quickly recited the Great Compassion mantra. After only a few repetitions, he saw the demon descend from the painting, its form fierce and menacing. He was terrified and closed the door, reciting the mantra even more intensely. A moment later, he saw nothing, only heard the sound of smashing outside. As dawn broke, Mr. Zhang ran out and heard the innkeeper's family crying. He ran for 2 miles before finally resting. That evening, he heard people say, the innkeeper died unexpectedly. He inquired and learned that the family had worshipped demons for 3 generations. Every year, they would trick a customer and offer him as a sacrifice. If no outsider was present, misfortune would befall the innkeeper. The miraculous power of the Great Compassion mantra. Returning from the underworld, according to the mantra of the heavenly mantra, Song dynasty, Li Junjun already possessed good virtues. And because he believed in the efficacy of the Great Compassion mantra, he often recited it. One day, due to illness, Li saw himself entering the underworld. He arrived at a building and saw 2 high-ranking officials sitting on a towering throne. He immediately recited the Great Compassion mantra silently. At that moment, the palace shook, and both sides threatened to collapse. The nobles said, "Stop reciting, and we will release you. Because you once found a lost pearl and returned it to its owner while you were alive. Your lifespan will be extended by 20 years. Upon waking, he recovered from his illness, living wickedly according to the records of the current consequences. During the Kangxi period of the Qing dynasty, the filial and honest Dai Wu Yu in Suzhou behaved very dissolutely, harming many people. Later, he was arrested by the Ministry of Public Works and died in prison because he could not endure the suffering. At that very moment, a man named X, in the city, who had died unexpectedly, came back to life and recounted. The king of the underworld ordered Dai to be thrown into a cauldron of boiling oil. From a flat piece of land, a cauldron of boiling oil suddenly rose up. The demons speared Dai and threw him into the cauldron. Dai shouted, "Namo Hatara Datna Dara Yaya." The cauldron immediately shattered, and lotus flowers emerged from the ground. The king of the underworld declared, he was able to recite the great compassion mantra, so he cannot be punished. Let him be reborn into an evil family. The courtiers replied, that man in Jiaxing committed evil deeds and set up an altar to pray for a child. The king then allowed him to be reborn there. Upon inquiring in Jiaxing, everything was as it seemed. The Monkey King demon during the Song dynasty, the forest guardian of the Nengren temple in Fuzhou, was originally a monkey that the people captured and bound alive. They molded a mud statue of it and called it the Monkey King. Over time, it caused trouble, harming many people in the area. Elder Zhang Yan, feeling pity for the monkey's heavy burden, recited the great compassion mantra to save it. That night, he dreamt of a woman with blood-stained monkey feet, leading a small monkey bound by iron chains, and bowing to him, saying, your disciple is the Monkey King, now freed by your divine power and reborn in heaven. Please untie this little monkey. The next morning, he opened the shrine and found the monkey's body chained 3 times, with a wound on its left armpit from being shot by shamans. Seeing this, he destroyed everything, and the evil deeds ceased from then on. The miraculous mantra of the Great Compassion Mantra, escaping the karmic burden of the underworld according to Xin Qi Hai. When Zhang Xinyu was an official in Zhanghan, he dreamt that a soldier came with a letter inviting him. He rode his flying horse into the air to a place that looked as vast as a king's palace. A sign on the left of the palace read, Heaven, each chamber shining brightly. A sign on the right read, Hell, its depths and darkness immeasurable. He noticed a well in hell, where people would jump in. The king summoned Zhang into the palace, saying, my term is over, you shall take my place. Zhang replied, I have an elderly mother and young children. How can I take up this position before my duties are finished? The king said, you are talented, virtuous, and renowned. Why are you so lacking in understanding? Things in this world are done when they are finished. I have already reported this to the Supreme Being. There is no turning back. Zhang was so distressed that he awoke, his blanket soaked with sweat. Sitting up, he dreamt again of the underworld. 5 thrones were arranged in the palace, their altars piled high like mountains. A servant pointed to the 5th throne and said, this is your place. Zhang saw his teacher, Feng Jingshan, and explained his situation regarding his elderly mother and young children. Mr. Feng sadly said, I have a foolish wife and young children, and I am also unable to take up the position. Things have come to this point, let's not talk anymore. Let's quickly prepare for the funeral. Upon waking, he went to the house of the local official, Wang Xingwu, to bid farewell. Wang, horrified, said, your face is ashen. You are full of demonic energy. He recounted his dream, and Wang advised him to recite the Great Compassion Mantra. The whole family fasted and recited it. At midnight, Mr. Feng saw a palanquin descend from the sky. Several people carried the palanquin. It was clearly someone coming to welcome him. He recited the mantra more urgently, and they vanished like smoke. 3 years later, he was promoted to the rank of Tu Lam. Escaped from calamity according to the Fukai Yanji, during the Daoguang period of the Qing dynasty. Lu Yiting and Jinling said, every morning when I wake up, I recite the Great Compassion Mantra 7 times before the statue of the Great Bodhisattva, without laziness for 20 years. One evening, at dusk, an old woman came in and said, one day you will have an accident, so be careful, and then left. When I called my family to bring tea, everyone was surprised that the old woman was gone. That night, I woke up to urinate and fell to the ground. Unfortunately, my right foot got caught in a chair, and the pain was unbearable. After that, I recited the Great Compassion Mantra for several days before it healed. This is because I have worshipped the great Bodhisattva for so long, so I have been protected by his divine power. Now, at 68 years old, I am remarkably vigorous, all thanks to the power of the great Bodhisattva. The miraculous response of the Great Compassion Mantra. Mingyu Xieji. According to Mingyu Xieji, during the Qing dynasty, Zhou Zhaozheng in Changzhou had a wife named Cheng Shi. In the 12th year of Daoguang, 1832, she suddenly fell ill with a severe liver disease. When questioned, the voice changed to a sinister, devilish tone. This possessed demon begged Zhao Zheng to recite the Great Compassion Mantra to help the deceased soul find peace. Therefore, he asked the demon if it had any past grievances with the sick person. It replied, "No." He asked, "Is the illness all right?" It replied, "Sincere recitation of the Buddha's name will surely bring healing." In August of the following year, the illness recurred. The wife couldn't eat or drink for over 20 days. Afterward, she fell into a coma, her soul entering the underworld, where she saw the king of hell examining prisoners, clearly discerning both good and evil. Because Cheng Shi practiced vegetarianism, recited the Buddha's name, the Diamond Sutra, and the Great Compassion Mantra, the king released her. She then recounted in detail what she had seen. Zhao Zheng recorded it in the book, Mingyu Xieji, to advise people. Praying for a child as desired according to the Kuyan Joy Loi Sao, the Feng family in Donghong had accumulated virtue for generations. Feng Cam served as an official in Sunhu but had no children for many years. His wife prayed everywhere but to no avail. Later, an old monk taught him the Great Compassion Mantra, which he recited with utmost devotion. One day, he dreamt of an old woman carrying 2 babies, one thin and one fat, to his house. When she reached out to take the fat one, it fell to the ground and died. When she took the thin one, the old woman said, "This child will be given to the Feng family." Later, the neighbor's wife gave birth to a child but couldn't raise it. Mrs. Feng gave birth to Hao, who was thin and weak as a child. As he grew older, Hao gradually became handsome, tall, intelligent, and successful at a very young age. He rose rapidly through the ranks, from a Hanlin scholar to a censor. He was also diligent in doing good deeds, devoting himself to every good deed. Now 75 years old, the couple is happy and healthy, with 3 sons who have all passed the imperial examinations and become officials. The Holy Monk according to the Biography of Eminent Monks, Volume 4, Qing Dynasty. Master M was from Yangzhou. As a child, he was rude, ill-tempered, and unobservant of the precepts. He was reprimanded by the head monk, and in his resentment, he wanted revenge and decided to practice asceticism to atone for his shame. He immediately went alone to the sutra repository, abandoning all outside affairs and focusing solely on reciting the Great Compassion Mantra. The master secluded himself for 3 years before emerging, his demeanor completely different. Humble and modest, no one could fathom the level of enlightenment he had attained. One day, by chance, he overheard a guest in a tea-house dissecting the meaning of a sutra, asking extremely difficult questions. The master smiled and said that the discussion contained errors, then immediately read the book the guest had just been discussing. As he read, he explained, astonishing and captivating the guests. Therefore, the master became renowned for his vast knowledge and profound understanding. If anyone brought him a book of flowery prose, he would immediately recite it. This included Buddhist scriptures, secular books, books of various schools, and even novels. He had read and memorized every single written text. Therefore, his miraculous abilities were widely known, and he was called a holy monk. At that time, Duke Nguyen, hearing of the master's fame, wanted to test his skills. The master's fluent responses astonished Duke Nguyen, who sighed and said, "Your understanding surpasses the level of a master of heaven and earth." Seeing the monks enjoying themselves, the master lamented, "Disaster is imminent. This old monk cannot bear to see it. How can you escape?" More than a year after the master's passing, bandits from Guangdong besieged Yangzhou. The miraculous mantra of great compassion, based on the mantra of the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara, Tuesday, Tam 2020.